Well, we have the very great pleasure of having Jackie Watson in the studio from the Kaiapoi Art Expo. Good afternoon, Jackie.
Good afternoon. Nice to be here.
Well, thank you so much for giving us the time this afternoon. And, tell us a little bit about, for those who aren't familiar with the Art Expo, tell us about the Kaiapoi Art Expo.
Right, well, we've been running it now. I think this would have been our 16th, and we run it in Kaiapoi, but it's for all Waimakariri artists to enter, and it's usually in July, in the school holidays, over a long weekend. Well, long weekend in terms of we have an opening on the Friday night, and then it's open to the public on the Saturday and Sunday. And we sell, over $30,000 worth of art there. We have nearly 5,000 people come through. So it's a really big event. It's the biggest art event in Waimakariri. And yes, as I say, it's been going this would have been our 16th, but because of COVID, we planned it about 6 months ahead, and things were just so uncertain there. So we pulled the plug for two reasons, really. One was that we didn't know about numbers of people, and if you get 5,000 people together, well, obviously that would have been a no-go. But the other reason was also wondering about the financial implications for the economy, and would we be able to get our sponsors? We rely heavily on sponsors, so we thought, well, let's give our sponsors a break.
That's okay. That's very interesting. But how did the virtual idea of the Kaiapoi Expo come about?
Right, well, that was just a fluke, really. I'm also a reporter for the Kaiapoi Advocate, the local Kaiapoi newspaper, and during the COVID lockdown, of course, community newspapers weren't allowed. So I started writing for the Waimak app, which is an app that Martin Cook has created only over the last few months. And it's just an app for anyone who wants to know anything about Waimakariri. Has everything on it you could think of to do with the area. And I wrote a few news items for that, and one of the items I wrote was about artists in lockdown, and it basically based on the fact that, they're missing out on all these events so that they can sell their work. So how are they getting on, and are they creative during lockdown, or are they not creative during lockdown? Actually, most of them weren't creative during lockdown that I spoke to. But anyway, Martin saw them and thought, well, he could actually make a virtual, digital platform for the Art Expo through the app.
Wow, that's fantastic. As far as you know, is this the only virtual art exhibition in New Zealand?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think they're happening everywhere.
I thought it'd be wonderful if it was another world first. Wouldn't it be amazing?
Yeah.
So how long will the artworks be available for sale for people?
Right. We've decided to finish it at the end of July. So they've got, 6 or 7 weeks for the public to look at the work. It went live last Monday, Queen's birthday. And we've already started selling the works, but we're also taking more artists for a while. So if there's an artist out there listening to this, if they want to be a part of it, just download the Waimak app and away you go.
Wonderful. So they will take a picture of their artwork. Is that how it works? And
yes.
Then put it onto the website. Fabulous. Well, how are sales going? Do we know? Are you able to tell us?
Yeah, no. We have made some sales already. And I have to say, I was so I hadn't even thought about the sales side of things, because you can imagine we've been working out how to do all this and how to contact everybody. And I got the phone call from Martin saying that there'd been a sale, and had I received the notification, and I hadn't looked, so I didn't know it was there. And I said, oh my goodness, now I'm going to have to work out a process of how to process sales. So anyway, I have.
That's good. Well, everyone's thinking on their feet at the moment, aren't they, Jane?
Definitely.
They really are. So how easy is it for people to look at the artworks? Do you need a big screen, or can you use your phone, or how does that work?
It doesn't actually work on a big screen. The app is only for a phone or a tablet, so you can look at them on a tablet. But I think everyone these days is so used to looking at things on phones. I must admit that I've got an iPad, but I haven't looked at it on the iPad. I just look at it on my phone. And if I like it, I think then, and I'm thinking about buying a work, then perhaps I would look at it on the iPad, yeah.
Okay, well, that certainly makes sense to look at it, to see it a little bit bigger. But you're right. I mean, people have got so used to using their tiny little devices to see things. I wonder if everybody's eyesight's getting better or worse. I know I need my spectacles to read. Well, thank you very much, Jackie Watson from the Kaiapoi Art Expo for popping in this afternoon. A pleasure to have a chat with you.
That's fine.
And I hope it all goes really well. We'd like to hear from you once it's all finished.
Right.
Like to hear how it all went.
Yeah, sure.
It'd be wonderful to hear how the artworks have sold and
definitely.
So just a quick question from my end. In terms of numbers of pieces being exhibited, how many have you actually got?
Each artist is allowed 5 images, 5 artworks, and we, at the moment, I think we're up to about 43 artists. So
Well, that's significant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so and people, how do they find the website itself?
You have to download the WiMAC app onto your phone from either Google Play or the App Store. Very easy. And once you've done that, you just open it and you'll see straight away the next step.
Wonderful.
And if you're an artist, you just enter. If you just want to look at the art, you can just look at the art.
So it's relatively easy.
Incredibly easy.
The WiMAC app sounds like a wonderful tool to use, very straightforward.
Yeah.
And, of course, you can also listen into Compass FM on the WiMAC app as well.
Oh,
yes.
right.
Thank you very much, Jackie Watson, for your time this afternoon from the Kaiapoi Art Expo. Get online and take a look at those wonderful artworks.